Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. The YouTuber Goatis made a video about me, and we even discussed potentially having a direct conversation in the future. Could be interesting. Today though, I wanted to take the opportunity to use a response video to make some points. So I'll be responding uncommon sense style off the top of my head to everything I can remember, and then I just tell you a bit more about my backstory, how I got into bodybuilding, and elaborate a bit on my particular approach to bodybuilding, so that some of you guys that are tuning in from the pencil neck crowd over there might actually be able to widen your perspective. I'm sure that calling you out as part of the pencil neck collective is gonna put you in a position to be extra humble and willing to listen and change your mind, but alright. This guy Goatis, I've been aware of for quite some time. I've just never seen much of the stuff. It's just people have brought him up to me, asked me about him, and my impression of the little I've seen is just that he seems to be some kind of fringe extremist, weirdo, pretty much. Likes he's like, right? But yeah, I did see one video 1 or 2 years ago, someone probably sent it to me, where it was about his very peculiar view on training and building muscle. Watching this video, reading through the comments, it's just very interesting to take in all of these messages that it's just completely different idea about training and building muscle than I have. What's interesting too is that there's still a lot of overlap, it seems like this focus on good nutrition, whole foods and mainly animal foods, connecting to nature, the importance of sunlight. Well, now it's getting a bit cloudy, but you know, pretty much this as natural as possible in the modern world approach, you know, eliminating and reducing synthetic artificial crap, these so-called health and beauty products, you know, soap, shampoo, and different fabrics. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of agreement. It's mainly on this training stuff that you guys are quite confused. So watching the video is very entertaining to me, because it doesn't come off as me, like what he's saying, it could be as if he's roasting me, maybe he is. It doesn't really matter though, people have and will roast me, but I'm just saying, my impression is more that he's just saying what he thinks, right? Which I can kind of appreciate. It's just that what he thinks, to me, it just comes off as like, bro, what the fuck are you even on about? Like, when you actually are the guy that trains, bodybuilds, has the physique, what you're talking about is just like completely foreign. It's like when you're describing the activity, it's like, sounds like you're talking about nothing that I'm into. And the kind of person you talk, and yet you have to be self-hating to train and stuff. It's like, it's so far from my experience how it is, but that's of course because you have no experience. It's all fantasy. It's just ideas in your head, and a person that actually had trained for long enough to get into decent shape couldn't possibly hold the beliefs you have, right? So yeah, man, I appreciate that you just talk, give your takes. I would like to be called out, even if I don't agree with it or whatever. It's very entertaining the way you're doing it in. Then there are some, you know, claims you make that I just blatantly disagree with, think are completely wrong. And I gotta say, before I get into starting my backstory, that I'm the bodybuilder here. Still, I feel like I'm the one responding to the meathead perspective. Like, I don't know what Goatis' spiritual beliefs are at all, but it comes off to me as a very atheistic worldview, when you just look at humans as animals, which I don't. Human beings can transcend their animality, if that's a word even. Like, of course we have to respect and take into account this meat suit, this animal flesh that we have to operate in this physical world in, but we can be more. We can transcend our animal aspects, and everything we do doesn't have to be geared toward like survival or mating, like reproducing. But anyway, it's just kind of funny that the bodybuilder is bringing like the more spiritual perspective, but let's get into it. So before I became jacked and stacked Solar Knight, Giga Chad, uncommonsensetheo of today, I used to be a skinny fat loser, hedonist, nihilist, atheist, hipster kind of guy. You know, I've told the story so many times. In many ways, I was the polar opposite of my current self. You know, I was very lost in life. Anything, like any job I had or anything I studied, it's just because I gotta do something, right? But mainly, I'm just escaping reality through vices and hedonism. You know, partying, drinking, hooking up with girls sometimes, but also watching porn, smoking weed, binge watching TV series, playing video games for hours and hours on end, and just surrounding myself with similar people, right? And so one day when I was 25, I had the first panic attack of many. I got panic attack syndrome, so I got daily panic attacks for months. And of course, up until this point, I'd struggled a lot in my life with my mental health, depression and anxiety, right? But this was a clear rock bottom. And it was so brutal that I had to try to change something, right? Long story short, After months of self-imposed exposure therapy, I come out on the other side, and I actually no longer get panic attacks. I just still feel quite burnt out. But I was optimistic because, you know, even if I tried, this all felt impossible. I thought my life was over. I'll either end up killing myself or living my life either as a medicated zombie or just as a shut-in, never going anywhere, right? So I've been given a second chance, I feel like. And, you know, I've heard, they say that exercise and eating better affects the way you feel, even mentally, so gotta give that a go, right? So I started doing little strength workouts at home. I start just going on more walks, and I just do what I know are obvious improvements to my diet at the time, you know, removing obvious junk like French fries, seed oil fries and soda, and ate very plainly, like chicken, rice, broccoli style mainly, which of course I know now is not the most nutritious food, but still a clear upgrade from what I've been doing, right? So give it a couple of weeks, and it's just undeniable how much better I'm feeling, and this is the way to go. Like, I feel I'm on the right track. And give it a couple more months, and I can now see my body transform, and people around me start commenting on it. And let's here start rolling some training clips. I actually trained legs just before this, but I have much more clips from my muscle up workout from yesterday, so let's roll those. This is when it occurs to me that when I was a kid, a teenager, I really wanted to be like ripped. I wanted to kind of have a similar look to what I have now. I never could have imagined I could come this far, but you know, in my mind, have visible muscle on the entire body, abs, some veins showing, some muscle striations showing as a consequence of having low enough body fat, right? Though, back then, that was all, the look was what I wanted. For superficial reasons, I think that then girls would find me hot, attractive, guys would think I'm cool. Everything else associated with this, I just hate. Like, I don't like the training, I have to train, I have to eat a certain way, you know, I don't like any of it. And so now I notice that when I came at things from a, hey, I just want to feel better, I just want to take good care of myself, almost as a side effect, I got the kind of result I had always been looking for, and now I could enjoy that while still not making it the main thing it was about. You see, this is a very difficult one for a lot of people to grasp, how it can kind of not be about looks why you're doing this, but it's also about looks, but for different reasons, you know, like we're gonna go on, right? Because what people, the mistake many of you guys do is that you separate the physical, just the look, from the person, because there's no such thing as the body without the person who resides in the body. It's a manifestation. The external is a manifestation of the internal. And so a person that's jacked, ripped, whatever you want to call it, looks like this. It's not just that they look a certain way and they're good at lifting heavy objects in the slave building, like Goatis puts it. No, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into becoming this way. Like you have to have mental strength to build physical strength. Okay, it's impossible. They're directly linked, right? And you're disciplined, right? You're hardworking, you're consistent. And look, developing these traits as you're getting more jacked, you see, that's why I'm saying men should look a certain way. It's an expression of many other good traits, right? I look hard because I'm hard. You look soft and weak because you're soft and weak. It's quite simple, guys. There are many metaphors in life like this. So, apart from just even the physical, putting bodybuilding, a physique, developing a physique as a goal and outcome you're looking for, it's still just like a goalpost. It's what you gain in the process. Like me, like I said in one of the videos Goatis responded to, I love the way I look. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I'm treating my sculpture. I like, I take a cool picture here and there. But you know what I mainly enjoyed back then and now? Being the man that looks this way. Do you understand? That's a completely different thing. What the man that looks this way, it's not just that he looks away. He is all these things. He's strong, he's consistent, he's hardworking, right? There's a high pain threshold, mind over matter, right? He's strong in every sense of the word. It's being that person, the experience of that, that's so enjoyable. Not like, oh, I just look a certain way now, and I think people are impressed by that, or whatever, you know. It's about so much more. So you see how I can focus on the bodybuilding and the look, but it's still like, that's more like the receipt to everything else, all right? But also, that you can use the practice of bodybuilding. Guys, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I've used, not only had I developed other traits in my training approach, but I've observed myself and my tendencies in the gym and found parallels to other areas in my life. Like one thing, I've injured myself a few times due to overextending, training too hard. And the anti-workout crowd is going to be, see, dangerous, stressful for the body. It's not, it was just me, stupid, but also has this trait that I figured out is that, why do I keep pushing myself too far? Well, I do this in other areas of my life too, kind of just too much effort, so I just ruin something, you know. I figure out it comes from a deep-rooted fear of not being enough unless I do everything I possibly can, right? So you see, I use training, the physical training, to introspect and see how I function as a person all over, and I bring this into other areas of my life. And another way you bring it into other areas of your life is that when you get into working on the body, seeing how it works with the nutrition and the training, what you have to do, what the process looks like when your body changes and how you get better at something, right? You realize there's a lot of other processes in life that maybe aren't as straightforward, when it's like you keep adding weight to a bar and doing more reps on an exercise or something. It's still quite similar what you have to do, you know. You have to have some kind of program, a plan, you know, have to be consistent, can't just do it now and then and stop. You have to use progressive overload. You have to challenge yourself more so that you increase the demand on yourself so that you improve on whatever it is. Like, right, I've brought the process I created in the gym into improving myself, working on myself in other areas of my life. And so, because one claim, and now I'm going to get to more of Goatis' things that he's been saying. Like one thing, he talks about how, you go to the slave building and lift heavy man-made objects for no reason. It doesn't benefit anyone. Well, if we look at it just that so isolated like that, but this is what I feel like, again, with this atheistic that I see worldview, like you can't think bigger at all, you know. It's so autistic, honestly. Like, I'll tell you exactly how me building this physique has benefited me so much, but also everyone around me. Because again, it wasn't just my look that improved. It wasn't just my ability to lift heavy objects. No, I became a much better, secure, confident, healed person all over. I gained so many insights about myself in this process that I've been able to bring to others. And just the physical transformation, a purpose it actually serves in and of itself here, is that it puts something. I've been wanting to tell my story ever since, right? How I've been so happy about the life change I managed to do, and I just figured that there must be other people that struggle the way I do. Like, they need to know how they can change their life, you know. And of course, training is part of it, but also actually showing in your face the clear difference between this pale, skinny, fat individual and this new, jacked and stacked individual. It's like, it's right there in your face, the huge change that has happened, right? So, that the visual aspect, it catches people's attention. Do you know how many that came to me first thinking that they wanted to learn about building a physique, but they realized what I've been telling you here, it was never about the physique at all. It was about becoming the person that has the physique. So, like, everyone in my life could attest to how much of a better person I am in every way since I started this, how much I am there for everyone in my life, how strong of an individual I am, just not just by lifting objects, right? And guys, I get messages from guys all the time that tell me how my messages pulled them through a dark time, and seeing how I changed my life, that they recognize they were in a similar place, it gave them hope, and they report back, and it show me images and stories how things have changed. So it's just ridiculous to say that it doesn't benefit anyone. It's like, yeah, like the actual thing itself, that I can lift heavy objects, even that, do you know that more people now ask me for help with like physical stuff, like if they're moving or something. But I'll grant you that, okay, if I can deadlift 230 kilos, it's like, okay, it just won't come to much use many times. But what has happened to me in the process of becoming that strong physically, that I could deadlift 230 kilos, that's going to benefit a lot of other people, because I become a stronger, better person with much more to bring to the table. So it's so ridiculous to isolate it like this, right? And maybe I'll pause a few times just to think about some things you said. Yeah, I'll just pause to think and then bring up point by point. So the first thing is, I can see that Goatis has this like anti-stress view, that you should be minimizing stress. And of course, you should be reducing all kinds of negative and excessive stress. But the thing is, to live a completely stress-free life is very much a modern luxury, you know? Like, if we think about, like, you seem to have like a carnivorous diet, you drink blood and shit. Like, maybe you hunt now, I have no idea, but like, that's what you had to do back in the day. Hunt, prey, use your body. Like, it's stressful stuff, You know, you couldn't just go to the little store and pick, put your card in a machine and pick up this nice primal food that way, you know. Like, you would have to be in stressful situations, and life, survival, it would put some stresses for you, and obviously you're designed to handle stress and maybe even adapt and benefit from it, you know. Do you know there are studies, I'm not a huge citing studies guy, but that's, you know, people that think that stress is good for them, they live longer than people that think that stress is negative for them. Like, stress can be positive, and you have to manage it with proper recovery too. But it's like, I don't even care in the end. It's my purpose here is not just to have a safe and comfortable, nice experience of surviving. I want to thrive. I want to become more, you know, and if I have to stress myself, and if there are some side effects to that, I don't really care, you know. But I don't even think so. I think that stress is good for me, and since I've started living this lifestyle, I just feel like I'm like a rock. I'm so stress resilient. Even when I feel I'm stressed or nervous, it's like a lid on the pot. I'm just super solid, you know. So this so-called negative stress that you think working out this, it has just strengthened me, made me more strength resistant. And yeah, you gave a very interesting view about working out lowers the testosterone. You talk about how some guys, if they started eating well and not even training, they would have higher testosterone than me, because training is actually bad for testosterone. Just blatantly false, you know. Like, go see my video when I tested my testosterone. I'm like in the 99th percentile of testosterone. So it's just completely untrue. You also talked about, when you were going to give the counterpoint, like how the jacked scientist is not better than his little skinny fat counterpart, and you claim that, oh, the person that trains, that bodybuilds, they have to sleep 10 to 12 hours, while the other person, they just have to sleep 7 to 8 hours, so they can be much more effective than that. That's just made up. I can't sleep for 10 hours even. I sleep 7 to 8 hours exactly now, from quite early to quite early in the morning too, is the circadian rhythm I go for. But it's just not true. I can't even sleep that much, and I feel fully recovered. I'm great. So it's like you're just pulling stuff out of your ass here. It's like, yeah, if it was true, you'd have a point. It just isn't at all. Yeah, and one interesting thing is you react to, well, both you and the people commenting, it seems to be that you think that, you assume that a guy like me, it must still be about looks, you know. Oh, he did it for the women though. And it's not at all. That's what you gotta get. That old video with being ripped taught me about women. I haven't even seen it since it got viral, but you showed it here in your video. But it really, all it was that I was now less interested in attention from women than ever, because I had been, you know, I've been looking for validation through hooking up with women. And it was just me, in my, at the time, like 500 subscriber channels, sharing an observation that, yeah, when I got ripped, yeah, there is more attention from guys, but even I actually got some girls that I can confirm are real, because everyone wants, but it was surely a bot or someone scamming you. No, there were some girls I knew were real girls that approached me, and even a couple sent nudes. Like, it wasn't a huge thing, but this was just an observation I was sharing. It was not that, oh, I'm so happy that I got what I was looking for, or you should totally get ripped because the girls will like you and send you nudes. That was never the point at all. And it's like, guys, it's funny, you are actually the shallow ones that care about looks more, because you think that that's all you can think of, that a guy like me would be, oh yeah, it's about looks. You say gym cell, well, I can't be a gym cell, because I've been a vol cell for a long time, and it's literally never been to gain the attention from women that I've done this. In fact, I have many videos when I say you shouldn't do this for the sake of women. Okay, and then because we talk about looks, many of you guys are commenting that I look old. I Goatis does too. And it's like, it's a bad consequence of the bodybuilding or something. Well, first of all, do I really look old, or do I just look manly and you look like a little boy? Because a bunch of you started commenting, I left a comment, right? And a bunch of you wanted to brag that you look 45, I look younger than you and I don't train. So yeah, you look like a little boy. Like, I mean, that's also the thing. I learned, reading all these comments about saying that I look old, I learned how very little I care about what you think I look like my age, right? But it's just funny though, because whether I look older or not, like, you can't say that I look unhealthy. Like, my skin is amazing, my hair is amazing. You talk about me getting wrinkles and stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't care about that either, but I do not know what you're talking about. Like, a little bit around the eyes or something, but it's like, what are you talking about? So the point is, you want to make it so, see how he's aged, and it's clearly not a good thing. Well, I just think I'm looking more manly because I become more manly, and you look like little boys. That's all. Like, I don't even think I look old. If I do, it's generally like, you know, men look older than boys, right? And I don't know, you know, because I'm not going to be the guy that's going to go looking and citing all the studies about all of this, you know. But everything, how you're talking about how bad it is and how it ages you, and it's like, it's completely not my experience at all. Like, I feel older, as in I feel much wiser than ever since I started this lifestyle. But like physically, I've never felt so young. Like, my body feels great, apart from little injuries that are completely my fault that I overtrain. But as a whole, I have great energy. My body feels good. It's strong, flexible. It's like, yeah, that's what I mean by it. When I listen to you talk, it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like you're roasting me or something. It's just like, what world are you describing? It's like, this is just not what it's like at all. And I'll say here, by the way, I would never be the guy to bring up who would beat who in a fight, but that was just ridiculous when you claimed that you could beat me in a fight, Goatis. Like, how would that happen? It's like, you think, you confuse me for some kind of bodybuilder that's well on gear and completely just like has no flexibility. You know, I do a lot of stuff outside the bodybuilding training. I'm athletic. I'm much stronger and heavier than you. Like, you look skinny. Like, you're a pencil neck, bro. I could just bear hug you and crush your ribs. It's like, what are you on about? Oh yeah, there was one not super important thing, but that I noticed that I referred to myself as a Giga Chad. You know, Jack the Stacked Giga Chad, you know. And you went on like, oh, that's so sad that he thinks he becomes a Chad if he puts on muscle. He doesn't know that it has to do with how tall you are and your jaw. It's like, bro, what the sad part is that you think that being a Chad has anything to do with the way you look. Like, of course I say, but it's the look is a manifestation of who you are. Being a Chad is about being a man. Being the Chad, you know. And I'm just playing around with it just to show how extremely comfortable and happy I am with myself. And it doesn't fucking matter that I'm not tall or the jaw. It's because I love who I am. I think I'm a great guy, right? So impressive, so good in so many ways. Jack the Stack Giga Chad, right? Oh yeah, there was one important point I remember now, walking back, about Goatis' belief that, oh, the person that trains like this, they clearly hate themselves, right? Because it's tough to do. Like, anyone that says that they likes to work out, they're lying, because everyone knows it feels tough. No one really likes that, right? Like, you're not getting it, bro. Like, you can like it, like, because you feel like a beast, even when it feels tough. It's like, I'm moving this heavy-ass weight, you know? But then also, you're adapting. It's just not gonna be as tough at a while. But the last thing is that it's not that you enjoy the pain. It's like, I'm a masochist. I just enjoy the pain so much. Or like, oh, I don't enjoy it, but I deserve this. I hate myself. I must punish myself. No, I enjoy being strong, beating like my weakness that I want to quit because something feels tough or something. I enjoy training because I feel tough and strong. I become tough and strong from it. It's not literally that, oh, pain is just enjoyable to me, or, oh, I just deserve pain because I hate myself. I must be punished. Completely not getting it, man. But to make some kind of conclusion, guys, bodybuilding, when you do it in the way I do it, and combine it with many of the things that Goatis is also into, the good nutrition, connecting to nature, sunlight, reducing the other bad stress, minimizing the artificial synthetic bullcrap, it is overwhelmingly a healthy thing. But guys, I also want you to think a little bigger, like health, thriving in this life. Is it just about as safely and comfortably as possible reaching the end of the life with like as little challenge and pressure on you as possible? Like, at least it was a safe ride, didn't have too much trouble on my way there. Or can we include like a drive to be something more? Like, that's like, I think elite athletes, like the way they approach their sport, that's not, if the everyday person asks, should I do that to become healthy? I would say no. But I think pursuing it like that is a healthy drive to become more, right? Rise above, like seeing how far can I get? Can I become the best? How far can I take this thing? I think that's a very healthy thing to do. And this is relating back to what I'm saying, that humans, we aren't just animals. Like, yes, we have to take into account that we have this little flesh vehicle to operate, but we can transcend that. We can use our intellect and understand like how all these things work, and kind of chew like with a muscle. Like the body, I would tell you that like probably just a caveman person would look kind of ripped, just probably less muscle, but kind of athletic looking. Point is that your body, it can adapt and should adapt to different pressures in order to survive. But now in a modern world, and being a human, conscious human being, you can't just be like, no, but I just like to do that for a higher goal than just like, oh, adapting, so maybe I'll survive and I'll reproduce, you know. I can have other reasons to do these things, right? It's like, think a little bigger. What's healthy? Just being completely safe at all times. Or like actually taking some risks, daring to go for more. And if there are some side effects to that, maybe they were completely worth it. Like, I would think it was worth it if I was an elite athlete and I'm then a bit injured, but you know, I went for it. I became the best. I found out what I was made of. It would have been worth it. And it's like, when I talked about real men are ripped, it's just like, yes, guys, I promise you, you just don't know. Tell me about the story about the guy who was jacked, fit, you know, looked like this, and it's like, oh, everything just became so much better when I, you know, lost my muscle, became a lot weaker and softer. Yeah, everything just improved. No. You're just running from it. Like, you're either not understanding or you're projecting insecurities and think, oh, they just need to look a certain way. Oh, they think they're gonna get the women then. So yeah, that would be my last thing. This both is not dangerous and unhealthy and bad for you in the way that Goatis even claims, but also to the extent that those things are true, it's like, who gives a shit? It's a side effect of becoming fucking awesome, having a great life experience, being more than just a little human animal, you know, becoming a human being, the best man you could possibly be. I know what sounds more appealing to me, so please like and comment, guys. Gonna be interesting. You know, I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, so Goatis, Goatis, I would coach you for free. Obviously, I would do a program and we could have some check-ins, like, and you would have to change your mind. I'm sure you're not gonna take me up on that, but maybe we'll talk, we'll see. But those who are interested can DM me or email me in the description below, and I'll get back to you with my different program options. If you just want to support me and Uncommon Sense, you can become a member of the channel or a patron or leave a little super thanks comment. Very much appreciated, and please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental and philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Don't be a pencil neck. Be jacked and stacked, you get Chad. Peace from the editing room. And that's the final thing I'll give you, Goatis. You said that my videos outside reminded you of yours. Well, that's just a genius move of the two of us to make nature our office. Great job, bro. See you later, guys. Peace.